Welcome to the Non-Essential Podcast. I'm Steve Gibson.
I'm Ben Matlock.
And we're back again.
Yeah, and you, again, keep trying to fuck me up with the countdown. Mm-hmm. Like, you're speeding it up. You're not... 1, 2, 3 doesn't mean anything if you're not using real seconds. Okay.
I kind of, sung it the first time, too. Like,
a one. A two.
And then real long pause. 3.
Go.
Maybe we need to count to 10. That'll give me time to get into an actual cadence.
The reality is we probably don't even need the countdown anymore. It's like, if I can't line up a fucking conversation editing at this point,
but then what would we talk about at the start of every show?
Like, that's true. I'm fucking dead tired today, so...
yeah, that's a constant in my life now.
We really record this show at the worst fucking time of the day. But although there wouldn't have been a good time today. Today was just like you go to work and then at work everybody's trying to my boss is trying to teach me some sort of manager paperwork stuff right now because everybody's on vacation, so I'm the only option for some days to know this shit, and I'm just kind of paying attention, but mostly just in a all right, sure,
daydreaming about stuff like what would you do if you met Bigfoot?
Yeah, take him out, obviously. Yeah, that's another thing. Steve's got a creepypasta today, and next week we'll be back to the variety format a little bit. But I have been doing research on what my topic will be for next week. And on my way to that topic, I forgot how much I enjoyed, the chaos of the internet. When it's just you're trying to find interesting stories and shit, and inevitably you end up in weird Reddit forums and stuff where it's I tweeted about it yesterday, but a serious Bigfoot sighting sparks a debate. Is it okay to shoot him when we find him? It's already we're thinking he either doesn't exist or we gotta kill him.
Right.
That's a position.
That's what I love about that debate, because it's it's obvious that Bigfoot's not that aggressive because we don't have people getting ripped to shreds by Bigfoot. But it's yeah, but I'd really like to prove he exists, so I'm going to kill him.
Well, no, these are people who are I wish I could believe he didn't exist, but unfortunately I have to make sure.
There's one left. Let's extinct this guy. Kaboom. Extinct as a verb.
Yeah. There's probably somebody who just really wants a Bigfoot skin rug. Not thinking that would be the most disgusting fucking rug in a house.
Right. Or maybe it's somebody with the Napoleon complex. He's got small feet, and he's who's this motherfucker think he is with his big old feet? I'm going to take him out.
My stepdad had a polar bear rug before him and my mom split up. I always remember that thing and thinking that just makes you look kind of shitty. I know polar bears are dangerous, but
yeah, but that's the thing, and that's what these guys are go on safari, and they're I killed a lion or a tiger, and it's yeah, they're dangerous, but not when you're specifically hunting them and you have the gun.
Yeah. That's the thing, if you got lost in the woods and had to, make a knife or some shit, and you killed a lion, that would be a story,
right.
You know.
Which is where I landed on the Bigfoot debate. I do think it's okay to shoot Bigfoot if he has a gun, too. Harm him, make it a fair fight.
That was so fucking funny to me, the idea of, you hand him, a case with, a flintlock pistol, and it's just okay, we'll each take an hour, and then we have to find each other again, Bigfoot.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be sporting.
Yeah. How shitty would that feel, though, if you got by Bigfoot? Just a musket ball to the gut. And he's He's just staring you down like this was your idea, you dumb bitch.
He just gives you a sly smile and walks away as you bleed to death in the woods.
It's like fucking Platoon, you're Willem Dafoe, and just you're just like, you see something in the distance, like you're kind of like, oh hey, that's a person. Wait, no, it's Bigfoot.
I'm picturing that Saving Private Ryan thing where you've got your scope and you pan over, and then as soon as you're like, hey, there's Bigfoot, and then you realize, oh shit, I'm looking down his scope.
Bigfoot in a
your
tank.
Head just explodes. Yeah. Haha.
But yeah, so
that's not what this week is about. That's not
what we're talking about at all, ever.
I am going to have to start work on a story about Bigfoot in a tank.
Bigfoot the hunter.
Anyway, like you said, I've got a creepypasta this week because I was too busy to come up with a topic, and I've had this one. This is one I'll do the I don't want to say warning up front, but the disclaimer that I found this a long time ago. I had it, just as like a backup thing, and I haven't read the whole thing. It's one of those that I think you do this too, but I read the first maybe third of it just to like get a feel for it, and I'm like, yeah, this sounds like it'll be a good story for the podcast. So if it turns out to not be, well, whoops.
We'll add it in like a good podcast just to cut us off.
Yeah, find another one and just copy paste it
just
over.
20 minutes of a better show.
So anyway, this story is called The Thing That Will Kill Me, and that's what caught my attention immediately because that's the creepypasta-ist title that.
So it's about energy drinks?
Drinks, yes.
That's what I feel killing me every day.
This one actually has an author. It's Ashley Rose Wellman. I don't know if that's her real name or her pen name, but
either way, well,
whatever.
If it's a pen name, fucking good pen name. Jesus.
Yeah. I grew up in a tiny town in Vermont. Tiny in terms of population, not size. There were huge, sprawling farms and wooded areas, but almost no people. More cows than people, which is standard for a lot of small towns in Vermont.
More cow than man.
Man. So that's kind of what I thought when I read that sentence. So clearly not the most fun in the world for a kid who was sick of freezing winters and awful, balmy summers surrounded by boring Vermonters that didn't have many kids my age. Which was also funny to me, because that's kind of implying that the Vermonters had a lot of kids, just not her age, and like they did it specifically to spite her.
There's just like a few years where no one was fucking, and then they picked back up again.
They just were buying cows. My only close friend was Tina, who was a year older than me. We spent almost all of our time with each other, constantly dreaming about life outside of Vermont. The people in our town were strange folk. Different than in other places. As if you didn't know what the first different meant. One thing I didn't realize about small towns until I moved to the city is how incredibly superstitious people in towns like mine could be. They believed in the strange, the paranormal. They believed in Luvia, which sounds like a sugar substitute.
These idiots believe in stevia.
Same great taste, less filling. Luvia was an older French-Canadian woman who had moved to Vermont when she met her husband. And everyone in town thought she was a clairvoyant, psychic.
Did you say Luvia or Olivia?
Luvia. Luvia.
All right, so
I don't know. That's how I'm pronouncing it anyway, but...
Because I was like, Olivia isn't that crazy. Why is that hard to believe that there's someone named Olivia?
No, Luvia.
But Luvia is very... Yeah, I'm with them. That's weird as shit.
Oh, shit. And I like that she keeps saying words and then re-explaining the words. Yeah. I thought she was clairvoyant, psychic.
Powerful.
Like, well, then... Even my own parents did. One day, my mother lost her wedding ring. She had looked around everywhere for it. They called Luvia, and she immediately told them it was under old rotting wood.
At a pawn shop on 16th Street. My psychic powers are telling me it was only worth $20.
At least I was able to get that Big Mac. I mean, whoever took it there. They looked in the backyard where my father had been tearing apart a decaying piano he'd found. So your
Cool.
father's weird as fuck.
Cool dad, dude.
Hey, Ken, I found this decaying piano. Come help me tear it apart.
I found me an old crowbar. I'm going to pop this son of a bitch open.
See where the music come from.
I'm going to find music.
My mother had helped him one day. The ring was there, under old, rotting wood. After hearing a lot about Luvia from older townsfolk who seemed to think that she was 100% credible, Tina and I decided to go see her one evening to try to find out whatever she could tell us about, in quotes, the future. I don't know why it's in quotes. I was skeptical, but it seemed like a fun thing to do as a joke. So we dropped by her house in the early evening, and as she opened the door... What? Oh, sorry. And she opened the door as we walked up the pathway to her house, because of course she's psychic, she knew they were coming, before we even had a chance to knock.
That's
Tina...
just a sign like, I know you're coming, go away.
Tina elbowed me hard in the ribs and whispered that Luvia was clearly a psychic. She sensed us coming to the door. I whispered back that it probably had more to do with her house being full of windows, and the fact that she probably saw us coming from a long way away. Either way, I started to feel strange the minute we got close to her. She was very, very old, very tiny, and kind of sunken. Sunken eye sockets and sharp cheekbones, and a sort of concave chest cavity. Why can you see her chest cavity? Is she just, like, naked?
Spandex.
Oh, yeah.
The official uniform of psychics.
More than a little unnerving. But she smiled and was sweet to us and asked if we wanted candy and to step into her oven. And I started to warm up to her, which is a great line after stepping into an oven. Nothing about her or her house screamed creepy psychic to me. Just a well-dressed older woman in a cabin-style house.
With a PlayStation 2.
It looked like you'd imagine any typical grandmother's home. Doilies, knitting, family magazines, etc. I don't know. Family magazines isn't really something I picture for grandmother's houses.
What is a family magazine?
I'm thinking of those, what's that called? Like Pathways or whatever that's in the doctor's office that has like the hidden item things. I don't know.
Like, I'm just imagining like a magazine that's full of pictures of like happy families, and it's making me upset.
Yeah. The faces were all scratched out.
So
the word
one patient
ungrateful
wrote onto the page, "This isn't real."
Just over and over scrawled in blood. Ungrateful bastards you never call, not even once. Anyway, so doilies, knitting, family magazines, etc. We told her that we were interested in a clairvoyant reading instead of, one of those non-psychic readings. We're just here for a reading. No, out of this family magazine.
That's my business, is where it's like, we would like a reading, and then I just kind of look at your palm like, yeah, it's fucked up. You got lines. That's fucked. Yeah.
So we were interested in a clairvoyant reading, and we handed her about $20 that we had scrounged together between the two of us. I like that she doesn't have a set price. It's just whatever you hand her.
This is already a setup. Like, this woman's going to ruin these kids' life for $20.
Not even. Almost $20. She led us to her kitchen table and asked which of us wanted to go first. What can you tell me about my love life? Tina asked. Olivia had no crystal ball, tarot cards, or tea leaves. She just closed her eyes and sat silently for about 2 minutes. Then she took a deep breath and said, Michael Carton. Tina stared at her for a few seconds until Luvia repeated, Michael Carton, the man you're going to marry, Michael Carton.
Eric Cartman.
Tina thanked her and repeated the name to herself a few times. Michael Carton, Michael Carton, Michael Carton. And then she went home and wrote it in her notebook, I guess.
That's not, like, who you marry in, like, the state of your love. She didn't just say, who am I going to marry? Like, well, what's my love future? It's like, that husband could be a shithead.
Well, frankly, though, that is a very good representation of an old person. It's like, oh, where would you like to go for dinner tonight? Spaghetti.
Yeah. Buffet.
Tina thanked her and repeated... Oh, I already said that. Repeated the name a few times, whatever. Luvia then turned to me. Whatever you can tell me, I'd like to hear, I said. It doesn't have to be about my love life or anything. Luvia closed her eyes for a few seconds, but information about me seemed to reach her much quicker than her visions of Tina's husband. She looked straight into my eyes, grabbed my hands, and said, "The thing that will kill you is shedding its skin. The thing that will kill you is sharpening its teeth. The thing that will kill you is washing the blood off of its claws. The thing that will kill you is gathering skins. The thing that will kill you, you won't see coming." Well, fuck. I don't know anything that sheds its skin and has claws. Lizard, maybe?
Yeah, Komodo dragon.
Yeah, I got home and my mom said, "Hey, meet your new pet, this kimono dragon." And I said, "No."
Kimono dragon.
Kimono, yeah, it says that wrong. That's even worse because it's just one of those, like, douchebags. It's not even Asian. It just wears it and said, "Hey, who wants to go for sushi?"
Yeah, it's just a fancy, traditionally dressed lizard.
Dragon. That sounds like a Leisure Suit Larry knockoff. Leisure Suit Larry and the Kimono Dragon.
Sounds like a Gex, like, spiritual successor. We couldn't get the license to Gex, so here's another parody lizard.
The three of us sat there in silence for quite a while. I felt sick, shaken up. Luvia looked as if she wished she didn't have to tell me that. Well, she didn't have to tell you that.
Yeah, like, is that really all you saw?
Unfortunately, she signed the clairvoyant code of ethics, where if you see it, you must say it. Is there anything I can do to stop it? I asked. Luvia slid her money back across the table to us. No charge for the reading. She figures she'll get the money after she's dead. Yeah. You're gonna die, but the good news is you get to keep your nearly $20.
Like, yeah, I'm fucked. Like, thanks.
Yeah, I don't really need this money now.
Yeah, I'll be glad to have that not $20 in hell, you fucking idiot.
And I like that there were no follow-up questions, because she just told her what was going to kill her, but that can kill you when you're 106 years old.
She didn't even tell her what was going to kill her. She told her what it was like.
Right.
And what it's up to.
And it doesn't sound particularly pleasant, but if I'm on my deathbed anyway, like, I've been asking my great-great-grandchildren to pull the plug for weeks and nobody will do it, and then finally this giant lizard comes up and eats me, and I'll be like, thank God.
Yeah, thanks for telling me what he's doing right now. Like, the thing that'll kill you is watching Cheers reruns. It's like...
I got home, and from the living room, I heard everybody yell, "Norm!" I nearly pissed myself.
The thing that'll kill you is toilets backed up.
Tina and I slunk out of Luvia's house quietly. We didn't say a word on the way back to our houses. Tina just found out the name of the love of her life. Not necessarily. She just said she was going to marry him.
Michael Cartman.
She didn't say they were going to stay married. Yeah.
How great would it be if Michael Cartman killed her? The thing you're going to marry is shedding his skin.
Yeah, meet my new fiance. His skin just fell off and his claws are pretty clean. So
he's a weird monster. He's like moist and...
Oh shit, I just realized he fit the description of your thing. Oh, sorry. But I love him. I got to listen to a horrifying cryptic message about my death. I was 12 years old. I was fucking terrified. When Tina left me at my doorstep, she tried to make light of the readings. "How does she know who I'm going to marry?" she asked. "And it's not like some monster's going to get you, some skin-shedding, bloody, sharp... It's not like some monster's going to get you. It's not like Some monster isn't going to get you. What? For years I looked for it, the thing that will kill me. I could almost feel it, sensed it just behind each car, swaying behind the trees at night, underneath the fresh snow, waiting outside my window. With every step I hesitated. Every time I tried to sleep, I could almost see it. What had she said about its teeth? I looked out for slowed skin, for blood, for skins, for hides. She does have a pretty good vocabulary. But I never found it. When I was 18, I left for college in California to get far away from the snow and the cold and the thing that will kill me. But she didn't tell you where it was. You might be going right into its monster den. I stopped sensing it everywhere. My heart stopped pounding whenever I walked alone at night. Maybe, whatever it was, it stayed in Vermont. Maybe it wasn't the thing at all. People in California laughed when I told them the story. Why the fuck would you tell people the story?
It's a good story.
And it stopped seeming real. Just the ramblings of a tiny, ancient French-Canadian woman. It wasn't real. When I was 27, oh, here we go, a wedding invitation came in the mail. Tina was getting married. This was the first I had heard of it. I was still in California and barely kept in contact with anyone from back east. It seemed like a past life. You were cordially invited to the wedding of Michael Carton and Tina. Wait, no, clearly she had the name in her mind, Michael Carton, and she sought him out. He had nothing to do with Luvia. Her predictions weren't real. They couldn't be. Clairvoyants don't exist. It's ridiculous to think that kind of thing happens in the real world. It's kind of true, though. If somebody told you that you were going to marry somebody that was named a particular thing, and then, 16 years later you met somebody with that name, I think that would kind of affect how you interact with that person.
Yeah. I would fuck it up.
Yeah, I would kind of actively avoid that person.
Suddenly there would be too much pressure. It'd be like, oh, I'm supposed to be with this person. I can't. How the fuck do I pull that off?
Right. I went to the wedding. Tina, Michael, and I laughed about the whole thing. The psychic knew. She predicted it. Of course she didn't. Tina and Michael decided it was nothing more than a funny story to tell their future children. Although, with a name like that, it'd be very hard to just laugh it off and be like, oh, what a funny coincidence.
Remember
just tell
that
us if
time she was completely right?
Right. 18 years in advance. Maybe not 18. What was it? She said 12 or 27. So, yeah, about 15 years. Just tell us if you run into some beast with razor-sharp teeth that's gathering skins, okay? Then we'll think it's more than just a funny coincidence. That seems like a nice thing to say to the friend that was told she was going to get killed.
Hey, let me know if you're fucked, because that way we'll know she was right.
Then I'll go back and ask her for some lottery numbers, but I'm not wasting nearly $20 if she's not actually psychic. I left the wedding as sure as I ever was that the thing that will kill me wasn't real. That's a weird leap. You worried about it for 15 years, then the other prediction came true, and you're like, okay, whew, mine's fake. I'd look behind the trees, behind the cars. Nothing was waiting for me. Nothing was ready to skin me. I don't know why I had been scared so long. The best thing about Tina's wedding was that we got back in touch for the first time in a very long time. We were very different people than we had been as children, but we still shared more of a bond than we realized. She was happy living in Vermont with Michael. She told me everything that was going on in our town. The population was slowly increasing. The new schools they were building, the babies that were born, Luvia dying. As the years went on, her calls and emails got less and less frequent. She always seemed to be busy. Soon they tapered off completely. I missed her, of course, but I had my own life. I kind of like that, because it's something that I do, too. It's like, oh, she quit writing me, and I missed her. It's like, well, then you could call her. It's like, no. And I could check in on my childhood home whenever I wanted. One winter, I came into town to visit my parents for the holidays and decided I'd swing by Tina's house. I'd normally never just drop by, but she was pretty bad about answering her phone, and I really wanted to see her. I pulled up to her and Michael's house. 2 cars were in the driveway, so I figured they were both home. I walked up and rang the doorbell. Michael opened it, dressed in several layers and a large coat, as if he had just come in from the snow. He invited me inside. He looked very surprised to see me and asked if I had talked to Tina recently. I haven't, actually. Not in several months. Sorry for the invasion. I don't usually just drop by like this, but I was wondering if I could see her. I figured you'd know that you'd heard. She left me a few months ago, just up and left. Hasn't spoken to me since. Oh, God, I said. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. He took off his coat and hung it on the coat rack by the door. Can I take your coat? He asked. I told him it was all right, that I wouldn't be staying long. I was just so shocked that she'd do something like that. He was a really good guy. I'm sorry. I was about to get ready for bed. I've got an early workday tomorrow. Do you mind?
Wait, based on what?
Well, she met him like twice.
Yeah, at a fucking way. She was like your best friend for years. Is like, and your immediate impulse is like, wow, what a bitch. I can't believe she would do that.
He kicked off his shoes, pulled his sweater off, and headed towards his bathroom. I settled in. The dude just said that he's tired and needs to go to bed, and you're settling in? Get the fuck out of his house.
I better get comfy. I can't stay long, so I'll take that cocoa to stay.
Although I know people like that, and it's really fucking frustrating.
It's like, please get out of my house.
But you're just slightly too nice to tell him to get the hell out. But you're very close.
Yeah.
I settled in, looked around their home. Of course I don't mind. Do you know where she went? I don't, he yelled from the bathroom, mouth full of toothpaste.
I don't.
For first you're not leaving, now you're talking to me when I'm trying to brush my teeth? Who the fuck are you?
I demand silence when I brush my teeth.
She didn't call until after she was gone. That's awful, I'm sorry. He started flossing, and when he saw me looking towards him, closed the door for privacy. Well, yeah, what... When I heard the shower water start running, I pulled out my phone. Get the hell out of his house!
Yeah, this is...
He's obviously not interested in you being there.
Well, just like if somebody, like, turns on their shower... Like, it's not like, hang on, I just need to brush my teeth real quick. It's like, I'm going to do everything I can to make it look like I'm busy.
And I don't blame him. It's like you show up and it's like, oh, hi, I'm sorry for being unannounced. I'm the really good childhood friend of the woman that just up and left you and broke your heart. It's like, oh, yeah, no, come right the fuck in. I'm not doing anything right now. Anyway, I pulled out my phone, figuring I'd take this time to look through Tina's last messages to me to see if she gave any hint of where she went, any clue. My phone fell out of my hand as I grabbed for it out of my bag, and I saw it drop beneath the couch. As I felt around under the couch for my phone, my hand hit something else, a massive clump of long hair. I pulled it out from beneath the couch. It seemed so strange, such a large mass of hair, brown hair, Tina's shade, hair with a piece of scalp still attached. The thing that will kill you is gathering skins. I turned towards the bathroom door. Michael was still showering. The thing that will kill you is washing the blood off its claws. Flossing, brushing. The thing that will kill you is sharpening its teeth. Slowing off his outer clothes, his shoes. The thing that will kill you is shedding its skin. Oh God, the thing that will kill me.
The fuck, that's cheating. You can't...
Yeah.
You can't do it in metaphor. She asked for her future. You were already vague as fuck.
But frankly, like we said, she's being the most inconsiderate house guest in the world, so she kind of deserves it, I think. Especially since she's realizing this as he's still in the shower, and she's still not leaving the fucking
Look, we can talk about etiquette in someone else's house. The reality is we have a con woman on our hands who's like, oh, I'll tell you what will kill you, but I won't tell you what exactly it is, and I'll fucking use imagery instead of fucking, like, the actual reality.
In fairness, she refunded their money. It's like, I know who will marry this woman, and he will also kill you, but I'm not going to tell you that part, but I'll give you your $20 back. That's
the other thing. Like, you think you could bring that up? Like, why is it always like this fucking, like, genie's lamp bullshit where it's like, hey, I'm asking you for something, but I'm going to leave out the most important detail. It's like, not the dude's name, the fact that he'll fucking murder you.
And your friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
at any point, like, you know how much of a difference it would have made if, like, fucking goddamn dipshit fucking psychic bitch could have just been like, hey, you're gonna marry Michael fucking Milk Carton or whatever, and then, like, you're gonna get killed by Michael Milk Carton.
See, the moral of the story, and we haven't even got to the end yet, but we're almost there, is if you go to see a psychic, don't insult her by handing her nearly $20. Bring a couple $100 with you so that you get the full detailed future.
Reading up front, all right? You're not even going to see my wallet until I get something worth a fuck.
Yeah, details, woman.
You need to sell me on this shit.
I heard the water in the shower stop, movements from inside the bathroom. I ran, out the door, slammed the door, sprinted to my car, shaking, watching the door. Why would you... Whatever. My hams. Stay away from my hams.
She left out the part where my hands turned to hams.
Yes. I fumbled with keys, shaking. The door to the house opened. My car started. I drove. I didn't look back. I drove. All through the night. I didn't tell the police that my best friend had been murdered by her husband, because that would make too much sense. Through most of the next day, only stopping when I absolutely had to. I had no idea if he was following me. I had no idea what I had just seen. My heart didn't start beating normally again until I was 2 states away. I went home. This was months ago. I called the police. They investigated. Nothing turned up. They're sure she just left him, moved away. Maybe she did. Maybe she's far away. Maybe I should have kept the piece of scalp as evidence. Safe. Maybe nothing's coming for me. Maybe Michael's just
totally had part of a human head in my hand.
But she's already questioning it. She's like, maybe she is safe. Maybe Michael's just a poor guy whose wife left him. Maybe it's nothing behind the trees, in the snowdrifts, underneath the cars, outside my door at night, and the windows. Maybe it's nothing. Probably it's nothing. Olivia's been wrong before, hasn't she? The thing that will kill you, you won't see it coming.
Except she totally will see it come.
Well,
it's fucking Milk Carton, man. Like,
okay, right. He's sick of people making fun of his last name. He's like,
oh, fuck him. He's a douche.
He's like, I thought if I married her and she changed her name, she'd quit, but she kept making fun of me. And now you know, so I got to kill you too.
Because her name's Tina. Your name's actually Milk Carton. But no, like, you won't see it coming. What the fuck does that mean if you know it's Michael out in the fucking woods right now? Like, and he's just watching you and shit. Like,
that's the thing. It's like, I'm safe back in my home at my address that he totally has because we've been corresponding for years.
All this time, like, the only way this ends, like, the story's over, by the way. But
yes.
The only way this actually has an ending that makes sense is if a fucking just lizard just devoured her when she got home.
She's like, woo, it was Michael and I escaped. And
it's like
I walked in and the kimono dragon's lounging in his silky robes. And said, it's fancy seeing you here.
The kimono dragon. Man. Yeah, that's the moral here, is don't let people read your future. Like, don't pay them up front. Like,
yeah.
Like, and they're going to insist, like, money up front because they're stubborn assholes. And like, well, then maybe you don't really need my magic. Like,
I guess you didn't foresee this transaction very well. Goodbye.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't need your magic if it's not actually going to help me.
I predict that this meeting is over.
Like, what good is, like, reading the future? Like, I just feel like, it's like, hey, some cool shit will happen, a bunch of annoying bad shit's gonna happen, and hopefully come out even by the end. But
yeah, well, I mean, and that's what actual, like, psychic readings all hinge on, is just giving vague enough hints at something that is, like, bound to happen. Generally, they wouldn't give you the exact name of a guy you're going to marry. It'd be way more vague than that.
Yeah.
But and then you start like, you have to be willing to believe in it in the first place, and then you start like actively seeking it, like looking to fulfill the psychic prediction so that you can go, wow, it was right.
You know how fucking funny it would be if somebody like gave a girl my name as who they were going to marry, and then they like tried to look it up and they got Ben Matlock from the TV show. They'd be so confused.
Imagine how much of a hit to your ego would be if they showed up and saw it wasn't the one from the TV show and saw you, and they were like, they were disappointed.
You don't eat liver and onions at all, do you?
I can change for you, baby.
It's like I could eat liver and onions. I'd rather not, but
I think she should have got this prediction about this thing that's going to kill her, and it should have been like, I moved to California and finished school and got a job at a gator ranch.
Yeah.
Like,
I just like, you know, like psychics in every story always leave out the most important bits of information. Like that should have been, tell me about my love life. Your husband's going to kill you. You know, like that's more important. So like,
yeah, that's true. Like,
well, like who gives a fuck what his name is? Like, if somebody told me like, hey, the person you marry is going to kill you, you, like, at least that gives me the like
option to never marry anybody,
right? And all, you know, thing about psychics is like you fuck up, and you're like, oh, that can't be true, and it's like, and if you're Tina, there should have been a warning flag anyway, because it's like, all right, she just went on this long spiel about like what's going to kill your friend. You should be wary about anything she tells you.
You would think you would at least ask some fun. Like, I never heard the psychic up front be like, what's your one? It's like a genie, but even stingier. Like, I will tell you one thing. Like, I think if, like you said, if somebody gave me a vague list of descriptors for the thing that's going to kill me, I would have some follow-up questions to that.
Yeah, it's like, you can't do that. Fucking tap back into the fucking goddamn ghost zone or whatever it is, and you tell me what the fuck that is.
Yeah. Where is this going to happen? When is this going to happen?
Ghost Zone being a great band name.
It's a Danny Phantom cover band. Like, they play all the songs from the show. I don't know if there was more than one or just a theme, but
I couldn't tell you. That was a bit after my cartoon days.
That's why I can't tell you either. I know of it, but I don't know anything about it.
And Nickelodeon's cashing in on that by saying, hey, we'll bring back specials of the cartoons you did watch. I'd be like, okay.
Yep.
I'm almost 30, but I'll watch it. It's like, it's
but
not
I'm going to bitch about it and say it ruined my childhood.
No, that's like I watched the Rocko's Modern Life one. It was all right.
Yeah, I hear it's pretty good.
It's kind of sad because it's not even like this, you know, you share it with your kids type thing. It's like, no, it's totally for me, the sad 30-something with nothing to do, but like remember he had a childhood once.
Remember when you still used to have joy in your life?
Yeah, and Rocco's like, Jesus Christ, what's an iPhone? And I'm like, I know, Rocco, it's fucked up.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Good shit. Good story.
Good job, Ashley Rose Wellman, if that is your real name.
To deterring us from psychic readings forever.
In fairness, there was no way I would ever go to a psychic.
I've been going to them for years because it's cheaper than therapy. No, I imagine it's probably way more expensive. But it's probably nicer to just have like pay somebody to tell you everything you want to hear. Like everything will work out, and you don't have to change anything about yourself.
You will find love and money.
Yeah.
And they never said, but see, that's a good prediction too, because it doesn't say that you will get it. It just says you will find it. So that means you'll like run into a couple that loves each other and they're rich. And it's like, haha, you found it.
That's amateur hour psychics. Like pro psychics will be like, oh, love will find you, because you're such a magnetic personality.
You get all excited, you walk home with a cocky stride, and then a stray cat walks up to you at your door and like starts rubbing against your leg, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, it's like...
You're like, that's not what I wanted,
I guess
lady.
that's true, but at the same time, it's also what I wanted. Come here, you little fluffer.
You did seem to have a great stable of cat names picked out right at the ready. Yeah.
Because it's like... Because for me, cat names are just like... variations of fluff, puff, meow. Like after a while, it's like, oh, it's a poof. Like after a while, you don't even have names anymore. You're just like, ooh, it's just a thing.
I liked the pun ones that you had. I can't remember. I was trying to look them up real quick.
Jack Meower.
Yeah, there
Special
you go.
Agent Jack Meower. That's a favorite of mine. Sir Paul McCartney.
See, like you've got room in your heart for like at least 8 cats, and then you run out of names. But
well, to be fair, like I have like 7 names for my 2 cats now.
Yeah,
it's like I can't.
I don't think you're a good pet owner unless you have at least like 7 things that you call.
And a few of them have to like just completely just devolve into like, oh, look at the smookums. Yeah, like, and the cat's just looking at you like, I'm related to a tiger, and I have to deal with you.
I bet they think that a lot. They're like, damn it.
They have that kind of
I went down the wrong
posture.
evolutionary branch. Yeah.
It's like one wrong turn on the fucking evolutionary road, and you got some dipshit calling you Jack Meower.
Look, I can still fuck you up pretty good, but just wait till I call my cousin.
Speaking of like pet shit, like today at work, like they had like, so they have like these like frozen dog treats. It's like dog ice cream and stuff. And at my job, we kept that like right next, like right in the middle of like the kids' ice cream section. And I thought that was so fucking funny. But this is like Purina dogsicles and shit, like, but it's like right next to Fudge Pops. So, it's like, I know I would be such a shit parent. Like I would grab that shit without thinking. I'm like, well, give it a shot.
If they can eat it, you can eat it.
But at the same time, I'm so fucked up. I was like, I kind of want to know, like, what's it taste like?
See. That's the problem. You'd get it, and it'd end up being awesome. So you'd have to like keep getting it.
I'm just eating
like,
fucking dog food.
You're at the checkout, and there's like the cutest girl you've ever seen's ringing you up, and she's like, "Oh, what kind of dog do you have?" You're like, "I don't have a dog."
He's a Caucasian,
and he's single. Wink.
He's a Caucasian, about 160 pounds. Like, I gotta go.
She just turns to her friend. Did that guy's breath smell like dog food?
I think that dude eats dog food. It's summer, all right? I'm beating the heat.
Do you have these in any other flavor?
No, shit. I thought these were Fudge Pops. Well, I guess I better try them.
Traffic can't let them go to waste. Oh, we can return. Nope. Too late.
All right. Well, a little fucking rambling at the end, as we're good at. Yeah.
So your homework, if you listen this week, is to go out there and buy some of these frozen dog treats and tell us how they taste.
Yeah, find us on Twitter and let us know how the fuck that goes.
Unless you get sick from it, then we didn't put you up to it at all. We accept no liability.
I mean, you should be brave enough to make this sacrifice for science.
Flavor was all right, but I ended up getting worms.
Flavor was all right. I want to see the piece of shit who's just like, yeah, the flavor was okay.
Anyway.
But yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. More stories from the great beyond, aka the fucking internet.